This is your daily market recap for Wednesday, June 15th, 2022. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Wednesday, June 15th, 2022, FOMC day. Come on in, check out this video. Please stick around and watch. There's a lot of insight here. I'm also going to drop the how to trade before the FOMC day video up in the top right corner. You should enjoy this. And again, if you are newer to trading, or say you are literally one little piece of risk management or understanding the markets or experience, or again, typically most people don't realize like it's literally all you need is someone to tell you, hey, this is your problem, help you identify it, you recognize it, you change, boom, you're good. That's usually how a lot of trading is for most people, meaning that they make mistakes that are pretty easy to figure out. But like myself, when I had mistakes, like sometimes you can't see what you can't see, right? You know, you can only see what you want to see potentially, or you don't have the ability to see the big picture always, because again, we are all human. We all make mistakes. Emotions control our ability to, what I would say, kind of interpret what's going on in the world. Anyway, again, if you're newer to the room or newer to the channel, please check out the Discord room. This is where we talk a lot. Tons of resources on the side, chatting all day about what's going on in the market. And the link is in the description below. Bitcoin. All right. Long conversation with some folks who are just, you know, they're stuck. And when I say stuck, I mean literally, they're stuck. They bought up at the highs. They don't know what to do. It clearly has a head and shoulders top. Bitcoin corrects 70, 80%. I mean, it can get absolutely murdered. And now, since they never took any profits on the way up, and it's come back down, they're asking themselves, well, what do you do? Again, this is the problem with trading and investing if you don't have a plan. If you only believe stocks go up, Bitcoin goes up, gold goes up, oil, whatever your thesis is that the stuff only goes up, you're going to learn pretty hard that you're wrong. And when I say wrong, meaning in a trend, there's big ups and then there's pullbacks. But if the trend reverses, there's small ups and big downs. And if you don't know how to identify when to get out, then this is what I always tell people, because I had this conversation today with like people who are millions of dollars invested in the market asking me what to do. And I tell them at the same time, and they never listen all the time. The more something is up, the less you own. Oh, but stocks come back eventually. Well, guess what? At some point they do correct small. But then when bear markets come, if you average up into a rising market and then you lose, you actually need to make bigger gains to get back to even. And that just sucks, because again, if I'm playing blackjack, if I keep continuously betting the same amount or always increasing my my bets and never varying them, I'm literally going to lose every time. Like, it's just statistically, that's how it works every time. And so here's the problem. Same thing within trading or investing. If you never take profits, you can't buy dips. And if you never take profits and a bear market happens, you might give back every single penny of your gains. And again, Bitcoin, clearly in a bear market. Where does it end? What do you do now? I always tell people, if you're not sure, get the cash and then reevaluate. Because again, you can't see, if you couldn't see the down move, how are you going to spot the bottom? How are you going to know when to get out or get back in? And you have to just go to cash. You have to clear out your mind and see the market for what it is. Oil. Everybody said you're crazy, man, for shorting it. And like, watch it make lower highs. And here we go. Game over. And I mean game over in the nicest way possible, meaning like when we talked about who was buying oil recently, smart money or people watching CNBC and just who literally get foghorn to buy at the wrong times. You know, they say ring bells at tops. Well, CNBC does a special on oil and ExxonMobil. Red alert. CNBC does a special on Tesla. Red alert. CNBC does a special on marijuana stocks. Red alert. If they're at the highs, that's a problem. Anyway, let's get into stocks. TLT, if you're following me, I'm putting out alerts. It's time to buy. Time to buy. People are going, oh, what are you talking about? All right. Novice gap potentially. Down move. Everybody's talking about rates going higher, right? We saw this anomaly. I talked about this in the Discord room. Who has the stopping power to stop this big old down move? Look at this. I mean, coming lower. That was your first sign that somebody is buying bonds. Now what? The FOMC speaks, right? Here you go. This is the news they're waiting for. All right, they're going to raise a ton coming up. They're raising a ton, guys and gals. Like, hey, they're raising rates. Look at the action. Choppy, wide and loose. Now you have a little gap up on the daily. You can see it. And here's what the irony is. Someone has the stopping power. Someone has the ability to accumulate more bonds in TLT than the market has to go down. What does that tell you? If you can't think about this on a bigger level, you're going to always struggle in trading, because this is the thing. Like, this is how you can tell something's topping or bottoming. And it's much easier with bottoms because, again, there's only so much like things can only go so low. Highs, a little harder because they can rise more. So we started our starter position in TLT. Did you buy calls? No. If you get a retest, I think you can, or you just wait. Now, again, because the implied volatility is going to be pretty high after this gap down and chop. All right, well, going into, again, the FOMC, options were expensive, right? Spreads were a mile wide. So what do? Stock only, or you buy calls and you give yourself plenty of time. Don't put yourself in the weeklies. They're the next week. Shit, even give yourself more than a month, but also make sure you get in the money. Buy in the money calls, because out of the money, when the IB compresses, is just really going to murder your options, unless TLT rallies back strong, which, again, that is always a possibility. But let's play the worst case scenario game, because that's what I like to do. Because usually, if you can control and be successful through the worst case scenario, you're gonna be fine. If you have to pray for the best perfect reload bounce, that's not playing the probabilities. Again, you know, think of, like, again, when you're calculating your risk reward and how you trade, base it off of what the worst case scenario is, because then you know what can happen. If you're like, well, the most I can lose is 20%, then fine. But if you don't know what your downside is and you're just gambling, problems. All right, the dollar. What did we say in the last couple days? We're getting back to the high, probably going higher. Well, what's today? The Fed say this, Fed said, and the dollar drops. Do you really trust it? No, not really. No. I mean, again, it's one day. What is the big picture? Again, we talk about this all the time. It's a big monthly channel, and it held old relative highs at the 27s, and now what? Making highs, higher lows, and it's like, oh, look at that knee bend and right back up. Could I be wrong on the dollar and this be a bull trap? Maybe. Again, if you're long it, you could raise stops. That's all you really want to do. And remember how we talk about the more you're up, the less you own. Well, if you took some off up here and it pulls back, you can add. And ideally, if it's still an uptrend, this is what you should see. Some chop here, and then it goes higher. Again, think of the market through probabilities, not what you want to see. Like, be able to rationalize the probabilities in your head and know how to act accordingly. I really wish people started to think about the market through probabilities. I talk about it. Randy Howe talks about it, but people don't. And that's the problem. And you're going to see that. You're going to struggle in trading because you don't trade through probabilities. You gamble and you don't even realize what your odds are. It's like playing blackjack and doubling down on a 2 when the dealer is showing a face card. You're just like, what are you doing? Like, you don't even know. You know, you ever get mad playing blackjack when somebody plays like the wrong way and you're like, what are you doing? How do you know you're not that person? Your account balance is going to tell you. How you trade is going to tell you if you're that person. Because think about it, that person at the blackjack table, they always lose. If you're always losing, then you're doing something wrong. That's just what it is, y'all. The VIX, what do we talk about? Retesting the highs. But what is this week? It's options expiration. They like to crush options. They're probably going to crush the VIX a little. Now look at this action, which is so funny. Because I guarantee people are expecting the market to melt down. Again, I just expected it to chop. And so some people are saying, oh, that's S&P 4100. No. We said channel lows, right? Now you're just chopping around. Maybe it fills the gap. Now that seems reasonable to me. But again, to get like super excited like this is a long-term bottom with significant upside, the seasonality just doesn't agree. It just doesn't agree. And if you want to argue with history, you want to argue with timing of things, I think you're just going to find out what? you're going to struggle. So, I mean, I hope people realize that. And just one of those things where, again, one day doesn't make a trend. Okay? Think about it. Just think, please. Like, stop looking at one day. Now, again, could it be this chop? And here's the thing. If you want to play the up, I don't have a problem with the rational thinking playing some up. Just don't get way too excited like it's some sort of bottom for the long term. Because that's, I think, that's the problem with people, is that they get so conditioned to a bull market that they think every dip's a buy. But you don't realize, if you don't know this is a bear market, you need to realize you need to be short in pops. Now, again, can you buy the dips? Yeah, but again, you're not playing probabilities, right? Because if it's a bear market, what's the probability of the next move? Down. All right, QQQ. What do you see here, folks? Again, we talked about it. I mean, let me redraw. Oh, no, I guess this is what it is. It's a channel. It's a congestion area. If you zoom out, you can see this is a big congestion area right here between 300 and 270. Is it oversold? Technically, yeah. Your RSI and your stupid MACD probably say so. Again, you don't need to be a rocket science to know that people who are leveraging into shorts at the lows might get rallied on. And when I mean rallied on, like rally against. So now what? Short pops. That's all I'm going to say. And again, like, do you not notice the trend is lower lows and lower highs? So again, if you want to get bullish, go right ahead. But please be safe. Take money. Like, don't sit here and go, I'm buying this and holding this for 4 weeks or a month. Trade it. Trade it, trade it, trade it. IWM. We're back at the 2018, 2020 lows, something like that. Yeah. 2020 highs, sorry. 2020 highs. 2018 highs, somewhere back here. This isn't the monthly. That's why. Yeah, here you go. 170s. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't. Let me compress it down. You can see we're in this major congestion zone. Oh, God, I got too much. This is just dirty. Clean this up. So now what? Could pop, could chop. I mean, it's one of those things. Again, if you think it's a bull market, well, then you're probably buying this and you're going, oh, I'm making a killing here. I'm going to make a... No, you're not. The market's going lower, friends. In time. Not today. It has to tank. All these little things where people go, oh, I need the market to do this and it. No. Just trade it. Let it come in. If it pops, short it. I mean, it's just that... I don't know how to say this without saying it. One day doesn't make a trend. Again, how you draw this out, I don't even know. I mean, again, it's people try to bring a magnifying glass and exact price action to a market that's made of chaos. I'm going to hear it again. I'm going to hear it relentlessly. And you know what? At a certain point, you just don't care. It's time to buy gold, Dan. It's time to buy gold. No, it's not, Dan. No, it's not, or not, friend. This paper trading will get obliterated, meaning that in a bear market, what happens to gold? It gets murdered too. And now murder, relatively speaking, isn't that big. Because again, it's not going to Bitcoin smash. But guess what? It's not going to hold up because in liquidation breaks, you have margin calls. You have people who have to sell their winners to get even on their losers. So it's like the tide is going out and you're the best boat. You're not getting swept away to death, but gold will pull back. And again, in this market, I tell folks, I love gold long term, but please don't be early. Just don't be early because again, the market will pull back and it will pull gold down. And everyone's going to go, Dan, you're wrong. It's bouncing. I'm like, oh, it's a double top, yep, double bottom. Don't care what you think. I think I know what's going on because I've studied this in the past. And again, if you don't know, watch previous videos. We talk about the best time to buy, like say, for example, silver. Smashed during COVID. Look at that thing. It went from 18 down to 10s. Smashed during the 2008. Right before it went on a run. It was rising. People were getting nervous. Boom. 20s. What was that? 26? No, 20 down to 8s. Then you go running higher. That's what we're waiting for. If you can't have the patience for that, just don't get wiped out. Like I'm expecting somewhere down here. Probably in the 16 range. Don't get wiped out. That's all I'm saying. Just don't get wiped out. And people are going to attack and say, oh, I should have done this, should have done that, whatever. I don't want to lie to you and say that this is a buying zone, because I'm not buying it myself. You'll know when I'm doing stuff. Like I'm saying, I'm buying TLT today. Said it a million times. Check Twitter. Check the Discord room. I tell you what I'm doing. I'm shorting USO. I'm shorting oil. Again, you're not going to miss the gold bottom, because I will not miss the gold bottom. Gold is my favorite stuff. And again, I know it. And people are going, oh, you got to buy at the channel low in the 50 month. It's like, I guess you don't remember this like blowout. Just don't get it. And again, wipeout. And there's nothing rational about a market and a panic sell. If you're telling yourself that the market has to do this because it's rational, then your experience is telling you, and again, something you don't know the answer to, and I'm telling you, you don't know what the freak you're talking about. I've been trading 20 years. I think I'm a pretty smart guy, and I will admit to you every moment, every day, I cannot predict everything. So you're going to sit here and say you've been trading for a month, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and you can trade everything? You are lying to yourself. And again, if I said that I know everything all the time, right, and I didn't show you this evidence of why I'm doing things, then you should ignore me and block me. You should, and anyone like that. Same thing with the GDXJ. What did we say? Channel lows look great. We bought some actually down here, and it popped in December. What was it? Where's December? Yeah. We bought these names, and they did a nice run. And now it's back here, and people are going, are you buying? 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 No. Because I'm waiting. Because it's a bear market. It's going to smack everything. GDXJ is not a million. None of these names are. Let's roll through them real quick. AG. We talked about this thing. If you were following in the channel, we bought it down here in this blue range, and we sold it up here. Why would you sell, Dan? Because it couldn't get over this range, and we knew the second quarter is always unfriendly to metals. Always. And then it collapses. People just short it. No, again, I don't like shorting this stuff because it's like my pet. It's like a family member. I like oil. I like metals. I don't like to short them. But I'm not immune to the fact, or I'm not ignoring the fact that it could go lower. All these names, I love them. Let them come in. Because if you buy them at the right time, you will get the slingshot move. If you buy them early, you get this crap. You get... Let me show you some more crap. Here you go. You get more crap. I guess that's not really the... here you go. You buy crap, or you buy at the wrong times, you could get crapped out. And again, maybe that's not really that great of an example. Whatever. What I'm trying to explain to you is if you buy early, you just sit there waiting, and you're going to miss out on other opportunities to short the market. Short things, short whatever, short your mom, short your dad. I don't know, trying to like playground talk. Like you can short whatever, just change the name of it, and know that if it's a bear market, everything's going lower. Now again, that's why I'm not shorting gold, because again, I think it doesn't have unlimited downside like some of the pieces of poop in the market, and like oil near term. I think oil could get slammed. We've talked about that. NFGC. Same thing. Love it down here, but again, I can't buy it because I'm not going to break my own rules to buy things. Because when I do break my rules based on experience and evidence, I'm gambling in the wrong direction. I'm basically betting on things that are going to be wrong more than likely. It is what it is, man. It just is what it is. And if you can't wrap your head around it, be safe. Anyway, I mean, I think you can get down to the fours. Sorry, I'm watching the close on my other computers. PAAS. I mean, same thing. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Oh, it's at the range lows. Well, guess what? It's not acting well in this bear market. Like, you have to admit to yourself at some point that the action in metals and miners, as the market is in a bear market, has been going down, right? So do you think you're going to buy it and it's going to fight the tide? No. Same thing with all these material names. Letter X. Loved it on the 20 month. Loved it this fall, or last fall and winter. Look what happened. It doubled. Hit the 200 month, we got out. Again, I got out a little early because, again, the more I'm up, the less I own. We warned it was going to come back down. Now what? Do you want to buy it? Well, Dan, is it a bear market? Yep, we don't want to buy it. VALE, all of these. Do you want to buy it? Nope. I'm going to wait. I love them long term, but I'm going to wait. VALE, nope. We told you down here, Scott identified that lower high or higher lower low that got invalidated. We bought the 20-day. Boop. Now what? Wait. CCJ. Now here you go. Here's another group of people who are completely in denial of how the market works. Uranium miners. I don't care if the uranium price is going higher, but look what's going on. The miners are not, because again, they're leveraged to the economy. They're leveraged to issues in the debt market. They're leveraged to names of other institutions who own this stuff and have to liquidate all their winners too. It's not immune. Don't tell yourself it's immune, because if you are, you're going to learn the hard way, like I have in the past. We all have at some point. You're going to be wrong if you fight the tide. Tide says right shoulder, left shoulder, oh crap, there's the head, probably going lower. And again, I've posted this a billion times. Somewhere between 16 and 18, I think you can start layering in. But let's wait for the market to capitulate. Mosaic said again, people are like, oh, there's grain shortages and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I get it. Look at the action. Pulls back 40%. You can argue the tide can't affect your stocks, then you're just, you're pissing in the wind. Hopefully you don't get in your face. CF, same thing. Love these names long term, but let them pull back. Let's talk about the stuff that we aggressively shorted at the highs and have some shorts on now. Just don't have a ton of them. Head and shoulders top. Could have shorted here. Could have shorted here. All levels, again, which we talked about. If you follow the channel, go look back at the dates, watch the previous videos. There's nothing here that's not fully transparent. Could we have been early? Could we have been right on? Whatever. You can argue about whether it was right or wrong. I think it went lower. Now what? It's never any congestion. Right here. I mean, again, doesn't mean it has to dump right away. It could chop out. It's FOMC OPEX. Maybe it ties to 90 and then it fails. Apple, same thing. Short the pops. We talked about this a million times. We started being a hero here. We said there's no way that Apple will survive a 12-day pop in a bear market. And the market was going lower. A bear market rally. And guess what it didn't? 170s down to 130s. Still have a little short, like not much. Not enough to really move the needle anymore. But I'm keeping it because it's a bear market. I know what? It can go low, so low. People don't realize that this is a nice mountain to short. You're under the 20-month. Last time we got under the 20-month, you tested the 50-month. All right, well, the 50-month's 97. I'll take it. I will take it. Meta. I guess it's Meta now, Facebook. I haven't updated the charts because I don't care. It's going lower. It's tech. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Roblox. What have we said about this thing? We think it gets bought out at some point. Someone's buying down here. Again, remember, someone had the stopping power to load here. And now, again, VPA would say what? Someone's buying down here. You could be too. Now, you don't chase. Man, look at the TLT go. Closing at the high of the day. You're welcome if you watch that trade. Again, if you get closer to the lows, you can buy it with a tight stop. Tesla. Holy crap. People do not understand anything about the market when they say, I'm going to hold something forever. Especially its stock name. Now, again, you want to buy the S&P 500, hold it forever. Good luck. Just don't have to sell in a bear market because you're going to hate that. This thing is done. It's like a big, ugly M pattern. Now you're back at the lows. It bounces, hits the 20-day. What do you do? You better not be buying this for the long term. Now, you can trade it. No one's going to argue that. But don't buy this for the long term. Carrie, if you're listening, please study the past. This looks very much similar to a Mount Everest of Cisco, like back in the 2000s. And this was, again, this was the Tesla of its day. And notice what happened. The mountain was steep. The backside was steep as well. It took years to get even. Do you want to hold Tesla for as long as you need to get back to even? I would just say you sell it and you move on. You get into another name. Tesla again. What levels to short? What to get? This chart is so sloppy. I don't know. I don't really care either. I mean, it just is what it is. Trade it. Be smart. Be safe. And what? At this point, short pops. But you have to remember, if you're going to short Tesla, you really know what the Qs are doing. Well, here comes the 20-day. Let's see what happens. That's all. Be smart, please. Be safe. EXPI. Here's again another example of fundamentals that don't matter. Your belief in the Bitcoin price, the the Tesla price, the whatever price, doesn't matter, because fundamentals, like the market's not rational. I say that over and over and over, and it's like people don't get it. It should go higher. Well, it should go higher. It could go lower. That's the thing. Should gold not be at 52-week highs, all-time highs in this mess of an economy? Nope. Market's not rational. So EXPI, great earnings, great fundamentals, absolutely beaten. Here's the backside of the mountain you don't want to be a part of. And again, does that look like Tesla's chart at some point? I'd be willing to bet everything I own long term, yes, it will get beaten. Tesla will be under $100 one day. And that's not what splits. UTHR, here's another thing, a winner. Again, we not always bearish everything. W bottom, we said volume price analysis. Look at this action. Someone was buying. You backed up. Booyah. Now what do we say? Take some profits. Watch what happens. 20-day. Probably retest at some point. And then what? Raise your stops. You should have already raised your stops, because you actually could have bought the dip at the 20-day. Like, that's actually, which is ironic about the action. But most people probably didn't. They probably didn't. So, is what it is. Take your money. Let's get into oil, because again, this is such an, to me, it's an easy trade, because again, if you understand volume price analysis, what do you think? This is the liquidity blow-off moment. Remember how we talk about time, maybe like the TLT retesting? Here you go. You make a slightly higher high. And what do we talk about? The anomalies. We were like, man, last day of the month, market was ripping. This thing got sold. You went a little higher. Everybody loves oil, right? Everybody. You can't find an oil bear, or they're extinct, basically, because they got murdered. And so you're going to tell me oil's going higher in a recession, demand destruction. I wish you do, because, again, you're going to get your butt kicked, I think. I think the short is easy. Again, we held like the 20-day today. I've said this a million times. If the bond market is rallying, oil's got to come down. Because, again, then you're actually seeing peak inflation near term. That doesn't mean 6 months from now bonds won't be at 8%. What I'm saying, just like, again, no market goes in a straight line. The bond market's oversold. It's going to bought and it's going to bounce. Just like gold. We knew it would bounce at some point when it pulls back $200 an ounce. Again, you can trade it or what? But again, I don't trust oil at all, because, again, here we go. Let's go look at the 2008. Everybody thought oil was going to the moon, and they didn't. And everyone knew a recession was coming. But somehow oil was immune. Welcome to reality. It wasn't. Pulled back 80%. Oil went from 150 a barrel to 30. Now, again, how deep is this recession? Do we know that oil is going back to $30 a barrel? I would guess not. But it doesn't mean the USO can't get back to what? 40s and 50s. Is that a good short? You tell me. XOP. A lot of people just said, Dan, you are crazy, man. Talked about this. You know, we got in here and it broke through high. Then I said, look at this anomaly. Then it even broke out of the channel. Now, again, keep in mind, like the more straight something moves up at the end, the bigger the pullback at some point, right? Tesla, aka the end. Well, what do you think this is? This is the end. It's not the start of the move. Like, again, think about the XOP. It's such a crappy ETF full of really crappy companies. What did the XOP do in 2009 or 2008? 290 down to 90. 60% drop. I mean, look at this thing when it ran up. Now what? You're back at the resistance zone, monthly trend line potential. Again, I don't care exactly how it tops. I just know it's topping. Because, again, I know these companies are crap. And that's actually the exciting part of it. Imagine shorting Shopify. I mean, again, people say those aren't crap, but I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Teladoc. You name the Zoom, whatever. You name the company that really benefited Peloton from the stimulus stuff. Failed. And you're not surprised? I don't know what to tell you, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so I think it's going lower. ExxonMobil. Classic. CNBC runs a special saying Exxon to the moon. We get back up into the old highs. I told you, folks, the market has a memory. Do you not think people forget that $100 ExxonMobil is where you need to sell? They never listen. Now you're at 95. What now? I don't know. What now? Let's look at the UNG. We talked about this being a peak in nat gas. Channel high, fail. Now you're below it. Now people are like bullish nat gas. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You guys, not you guys, but you folks who just don't really understand the market. FANG. Again, I'll go in these in every day, just their benefit. Channel high, fail. Oh, you shorted the channel high? Congrats. I didn't, but I'm just saying, like, all these rode the lightning. PXD, channel high, fail. EQT, this is everybody's XOP favorite. We talked about this anomaly. We were like, that's interesting. At the highs, huge volume, someone's selling. What's going on up here? Something ain't making sense. I'm talking my southern roots voice. Something don't make sense here. Look at that. Boom. Oh, but it's a buy, Dan. No, it was literally like, what was the low on this thing? $4. $4. It runs up to 50. You want to buy it now? You, my friend, have problems because it's probably going to do what? And maybe it goes and then back. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. As I've said a long time, I love everybody. I appreciate everyone's support. This is not easy to try to manage all of the trades, help out, create videos, but I enjoy it because I know it's good for me. It's good, you know, as they say, you have to give to receive. You don't expect back because, again, if you can help people, you're doing great things. And I'm trying to help people. And again, I don't expect anything because if I'm telling you what I'm trading and you follow me, you're realizing, hey, that guy's doing pretty good. If you want to donate to the channel, now I appreciate that because, again, that shows me that you actually see the value in this stuff. Again, I'm never going to ask for anything. But if the roles are reversed and someone helps me out in mentoring, again, I don't think anything in the world is worth not helping, you know, rewarding people for actually helping. Now, again, if you don't find it helpful, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Everyone absorbs their information differently. And again, in a market where you literally can't get free information, this is what I tell people. All free information is usually crap. But again, if you find value in this, I don't care. I think it's great. I mean, again, I watch this stuff, and again, as I tell you, like, I literally record the stuff to keep myself fresh, to understand always what I'm going to do. I have a plan. I understand the markets. I'm prepared. If you want to piggyback this, love it. You want to learn, great. Because again, people helped me along the way. So unfortunately, I had to spend a lot of money for it, but that's part of the game. Sometimes you got to pay to, you know, learn. And again, that's all relative. But in the end, I think you can help more people out by giving back. Giving back right now to me is shorting oil. I mean, this conversation, again, I hate to be like beat a dead horse, but look at the TLT. If you were watching and you're following in the Discord room, we were buying in the 109.20s, 109.30s, 109.50s. We closed at 110.18. You're welcome. You are welcome. Professional gap, close higher. We'll see what happens. Again, I hope people do well. Please stay smart. Don't gamble. Know your probabilities. That's all it really is. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.